of a line. All right. A line like this is very steep. All right. A line like this is not that steep. All right. As you approach a flat horizontal line, all right, a flat horizontal line has a gradient of 0 because it is not steep, all right? So you should always remember this. A flat horizontal line has a gradient of 0 because there is no steepness in this flat line, okay? So the gradient is represented by m, okay? So for a flat line or a horizontal line, m equals 0, okay? But for a vertical line, all right, m, okay, m is infinite or undefined, all right? Infinite, okay, or undefined, right? So now we are going to look at how we can obtain the gradient of a line when we're using 2 points, all right? So we must remember this formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? You'll be given 2 points, all right? You'll be given 2 points, all right? Let's use the Cartesian plane so that we can illustrate this, because sometimes you might have a positive gradient, all right? Because the gradient can also be positive or negative, all right? So we have to know each type, each type of gradient, how it's going to look. So let me just draw the Cartesian plane. Right. Let's say, for example, this Cartesian plane is not to scale, all right? Meaning, I'm going to write a point here. Let's say, for example, let's say -3, 5, all right? -3 and 5, all right? What I mean not to scale, maybe this might not be a 5 corresponding here, all right? Because this paper is too small, all right? Here we just want to focus on steepness of lines, all right? Let's say we have a point here, okay? Let's say we'll have it as -6, and -6 and -4, all right? We'll call this point A, and we call this point B. So let's connect the line. All right, let's connect the points. So if we connect the points, all right, we can already see this line is very steep. It's very steep, all right. Let's calculate the gradient, all right, the steepness of this line, basically, all right. We're just calculating the steepness of the line, okay. So the gradient, we're going to get our first one. As always, we're going to choose our x1 and our x2, all right, and our y1 and our y2. So let's say here we'll say x1, y1, and point B will have x2 and y2. So we calculate the gradient. Y2 is -4, so we say -4 minus, all right, minus 5, all right, over x2, which is this -6, minus x1, which is -3, all right. So -4 minus 5, we get -9. -6 minus -3. Negative and negative, they make positive. So it's -6 plus 3. And we're going to get positive. We're going to get -3, right? -6 plus 3, we get -3, all right? -9 divided by -3, we get 3, all right? So we have a positive slope. Our gradient is positive, right? Any slope which is pointing upwards or going upwards in this manner is positive, all right? Or any line, any line going upwards, like how I've drawn this red line, you know it is positive. But if the line comes down like this, we're going to know that is a negative slope, right? Negative slope, positive slope. That's the rule of thumb, okay? So let's look at another line. Let's see. Okay, let's say we have a point here. Let's say 5, 2, right? Let's call this point A again. Okay, no, we'll call it point C. Right, let's call it point C. Right, let's connect point A and C. Right, my line is a bit bent, but we can see that this line has a negative slope, all right? It's sloping downwards, all right? That's what we can say. It is sloping downwards, all right? It's sloping downward, okay? So we already have our x1 and y1 here. Let's say for line AC, this will be our x2 and y2. All right, x2 and y2. All right. So we're going to say get our slope. M equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2, we're going to say 2 minus 5. 2 minus 5, all right, y2 minus y1 over, the next one is going to be 5, x2 minus x1. Our x2 is 5, our x1 is -3. So say 5 minus -3. Okay, so we're going to say 2 minus 5, we get -3 over 5 minus -3. These two negatives become positive, so it's 5 plus 3, we get 8. So our Gradient is negative 3 over 8, right? As you can see, it is a negative gradient, all right? So what we must remember from today's lesson, all right, an upward sloping line looks like this, all right? This is an upward sloping line. It has got a positive gradient. The gradient is just how steep the line is, all right? A downward sloping line like this one, which I've put here, has a negative gradient, all right? Then a straight line has a gradient of 0, and a vertical line has an infinite or undefined gradient, infinite gradient. And to get the gradient of a line, you use this formula: m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right?